This is a presentation on metal web joisting and how to comply with the building regulations by Richard Butler of the National Building Control and Market Surveillance Office. This presentation will give a quick overview of the requirements of Part A and Part B for metal web joist floor systems. Metal web joists, the designer should comply with the following building regulations for a floor system for dwelling houses: Part A, structure; Part B, fire; Volume 2, dwelling houses; and Part D, materials and workmanship. There is additional guidance documents that the designer should also review: supplementary guidance to Technical Guidance Document B, Fire Safety, Volume 2, Dwelling Houses 2017, and Manufacturer's Details and Manuals. It should be noted that there are three different manufacturers: MIEI, Easy Joist, Space Joist, and their details and guidance may vary slightly. So what are the parts of metal web joists? Top chord is the timber on the top, bottom chord is the timber on the bottom. Metal webs are metal fixings that is fixed to the top and bottom chord. Strongback is provided to minimize damping, reducing vibration and deflection of the floors. And the strut, vertical timber member between the top and bottom chord. So Part A, Structures 2012, the requirements: a building shall be designed and constructed with due regard to the theory and practice of structural engineering, so as to ensure that the combined actions that are liable to act on it are sustained and transmitted to the ground safely and without causing such deflections or deformation of any part of the building or such movement of the ground as will impair the stability of any part of another building. Technical Guidance Document A 2012 gives guidance on traditional floor joists. Some of this guidance is relevant to metal web joists, and designers need to show how the requirements of Part A is complied with. So Technical Guidance Document A, Structures 2012, Section 1, Structures, Loading and Ground Movement, Part 1, Basic Requirements for Stability. The manufacturer of metal web joists provide the design calculations for the floor system, spans, location of strongback and sizes. The designer is responsible for the lateral restraint details to tie the floor and walls of the building. Section 1125 of Technical Guidance Document A gives guidance on notches and holes in simply supported floors and roof joists for surfaces passing through the joists. Metal web joists are designed to allow limited size surfaces pass through the joist without cutting or notching the joist. Note, metal web joists do not allow for notches or holes. Always refer to manufacturer's guidance. Lateral supports and end restraints. So clause 11324 of Technical Guidance Document A gives guidance on lateral supports and end restraints. Walls should be strapped to the floor at first floor level at intervals not exceeding 2000 mm as shown in diagram 6A and 6B by 30 mm by 5 mm galvanized mild steel or stainless steel tension straps which have a minimum of 30 mm by 5 mm section conforming to IS-EN 845-1. Manufacturers of metal web joists have produced manuals which provide lateral support and end restraint details that should be used, and designers need to detail these in the design drawings. This slide shows a good example of lateral restraints provided as shown with the red lines. The guidance on lateral supports and end restraints: straps not need be provided in Technical Guidance Document are for traditional joists. Designers should seek manufacturer's guidance and manual details on lateral supports and end restraint details. This slide shows lateral support and end restraint details from manufacturer's manuals. A strongback is required when vibration checks to Eurocode 5. This is done by the manufacturer of the joist using their design software. Designers should ensure that the design is carried out to Eurocode 5. Strongbacks are generally required where spans greater than 4 meters. This slide shows the Strongback Fixing from the manufacturer's manuals. This slide shows a staggered Strongback Fixing detail from the manufacturer's manual. This is used where span changes due to shape of room as shown in the slide. This slide shows the Strongback being cut out to allow for ventilation systems. Remedial works are required to correct this, and guidance should be sought from the manufacturer of the joists. 2 and 3 ply joists are used by the manufacturer of the joists using their design software where loads exceed the normal joists. The manufacturer should provide the fixing design details as part of the design information. So Part B, Fire Safety Volume 2, Dwelling Houses. The requirement, internal fire spread linings B7. For the purpose of inhibiting the spread of fire within a dwelling house, the internal linings A shall have either a rate of heat release or a rate of fire growth and a resistance to ignition which is reasonable in the circumstances, and shall offer adequate resistance to the spread of flame over the surfaces. Internal fire spread structure B8. A dwelling house shall be so designed and constructed that in the event of a fire, its stability will be maintained for a reasonable period. A dwelling house shall be subdivided where fire resistant construction, where this is necessary to inhibit the spread of fire within the dwelling house. A dwelling house shall be so designed and constructed that the unseen spread of fire and smoke within concealed spaces in its structure or fabric is inhibited where necessary. Supplementary guidance to Technical Guidance Document B, Fire Safety Volume 2, Dwelling Houses 2017. The purpose of this supplementary guidance document is to provide support compliance with the fire resistance provisions as specified in the Technical Guidance Document B, Volume 2 for dwelling houses. The fire resistance of any construction is the result of the combinations of the materials used, including their thickness, spacing and fixing of the materials. See Appendix A in Technical Guidance Document B, Volume 2, together with the workmanship employed during assembly in order to claim a specific fire resistance for a load-bearing construction. It must be proven by test to the European Test Method EN 1365 series fire resistant test for load-bearing elements. This slide shows extracts from the supplementary guidance to Technical Guidance Document B, Fire Safety Volume 2, Dwelling Houses 2017 for metal web joist floor systems, and gives guidance on the fixing also. This slide shows extract from the Supplementary Guidance Technical Guidance Document B, Fire Safety Volume 2, Dwelling House 2017. It should be noted that a reduction in the thickness of the plasterboard or a substitution to a board not classified under EN 520 is not acceptable unless the build-up has been proven by test in accordance with EN 1365 series. 3.75 Fire Stopping, Part B, Fire Safety, Volume 2, Dwelling Houses. In addition to any other provision in this document for fire stopping, joints between elements which serve as a barrier to the passage of fire should be fire stopped, allowing for movement where appropriate. All openings for pipes, ducts, conduits, or cables to pass through any part of an element which serves as a barrier to the passage of fire should be kept as few in number as possible and kept as small as practical, and fire stopped, which is in the case of pipes or ducts shall allow thermal movement. See also section 1.1393. This slide shows fire stopping items that designers need to consider as part of their compliance with Part B of the building regulation. wires from the fuse board and downlighters and ventilation systems penetrating the floor or ceiling system. Designers should select products that have tests and calculations carried out by an accredited lab showing that the material is capable of performing the function for which it is intended. Examples of some products that have been tested in metal web joist floors are shown here. It should be noted that the build-up in the fire test for the product may vary from the guidance given in the supplementary guidance, technical guidance document B Fire Safety Volume 2, Dwelling Houses 2017.